Hello, hopefully you are joining me from the growling and low screaming video. And this is going to be great. Let me know. I'm going to wait for just people to kind of come over from that other video here real quick. I posted the link a bunch in the premiere, trying something new here where I do a video and then am available for questions about the video for, I don't know how long. We'll see how long this goes. Yes, bummo. Good, people are making their way over. This is going to be fun. I also have the multi-track for the little sample I did at the beginning because I wanted to talk a little bit more about the recording aspect and how important it is that, and we started talking about this a little bit in the chat, that, you know, we're listening to Corey Taylor or whatever on Iowa and imitating that with our voices and trying to get that sound, not necessarily realizing that that's a great sound, but that's an album sound. And an album sound is very layered. It's often done with a kind of an arrogance of good technique just to get the right sounds. And so we need to strike a balance when we're working on this type of stuff in order to have sustainable singing. And I've really started to pick up on this and the difference between the studio and live kinds of screaming and growling since working with Spencer Sotelo from Periphery and Lucas Magyar from Veil of Maya and Britta Gortz from Critical Mess, an incredible aggressive singer. So I'm going to, lots of great questions coming in here or comments. Let me get caught up here a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and play the studio recording of the little bit of growling that I did. Here it is. Right now! Right now! And you can definitely hear the layers and the brutality, all sorts of things. Belting. I've done quite a few videos on belting. Thanks, guys, for hanging out. Hey, real quick, those of you who are joining me on the Q&A, I made a coupon for my Aggressive Vocalist Master Plan of Attack course. If you get it today, that's where I did the coupon for, you can get a discount. Here's that link. The coupon code is Low Scream. Yeah, we'll unpack those layers because that's really what we're hearing on most of the recordings. We're hearing layered screams and growls. You didn't catch the video. Well, yeah, definitely catch the video later. I do have personal private lessons available, and you can find those at chrislipe.com. But I wanted to go over the differences between live screaming and growling and studio magic that really beefs things up and really give you guys the context for that. Because as we're learning this stuff, we have to have these different perspectives. Again, if you want to join my aggressive vocal course, my full course, there's a coupon good for today called Low Scream. There it is. Let's review these exercises real quick. We've removed the pitch. I want to clarify something. Anytime you hear someone screaming with even a little bit of pitch, that is not a fry scream. If there's any pitch, there's not a fry scream. Hardly any singers that you and I like utilize exclusively fry scream. Most of it is extreme singing with distortion. We've got fry, then bum. bummo, fry. Working out our face. Bummo. Then add the high false chord engagement. Bummo. But let the pitch remain for a while. Bummo. 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 Let your voice kind of break in and out, and we want to sigh. Bummo. Bummo. Then introduce fry as we bottom out. This is going to help us go guttural without getting too low. Bummo. Ah. Bummo. No. Yo. That. And notice I can still talk. I can still get my falsetto. Ah. This is really, really going to help. So let me address some questions here. When I push into my vocal break, sometimes I get a little dizzy. Is this normal? Yes, you're using too much air. Focus on taking breaks and focus on good chord closure. You can get good chord closure by working in your head voice more. If you want help with these techniques, again, I've got a sale going on right now on my Aggressive Vocalist Master Plan of Attack. There's a coupon in it right here. Yeah, but focus on the airflow by getting good closure in your head voice. Not that uses a lot more air. Then push up with your belt voice. Till your voice breaks. And then lean in with lots of compression, again, holding back air. That will help you not get lightheaded as well. If you focus on compression right as your voice breaks, you will conserve air. Yay! And I can go for a long time there because I'm compressing right as I'm hitting my vocal break. Jesus has a question. Considering my landscaping job, could the amount of dust I breathe in have an effect on how much of that tickling sensation? Yes. Dust is messed up. Dust is horrible for your voice. And matter of fact, when I've helped friends and stuff with drywall work, I wear multiple masks and take lots of breaks and drink tons of water. I hate dust. It doesn't just affect your screaming. It affects your voice, your respiratory system, and I think I even have a little bit of a dust allergy. I'm going to keep pasting this link just in case people want to go way deeper. A lot of you are probably already joined the course. But if you want to go deeper with aggressive singing, screaming, growling, Aggressive Vocalist Master Plan of Attack. Start at bummo. That's right. I've not done a tutorial on screeching. When I figure out how to do screeching well, I will do a tutorial on it. I tend to only do tutorials on things that I understand and can apply, because I feel like just talking about stuff from a theoretical point of view doesn't really get us very far. Can you fry scream low? That's an interesting question. I really have problems with the term fry scream. I don't like it because I don't feel like it properly represents what we're actually doing. This is vocal fry. And you can't really scream using vocal fry. Most of the time when we're screaming, we are centering on some pitch and then removing the pitch. So there's an element of loose chord engagement, but it's primarily false chord. Even fry screams, as they're defined, are really false chord engaged techniques. The only difference between a fry scream and a false chord scream, as they're defined, is that fry removes the pitch. Has less primary chord engagement or loose primary chord engagement. So I really don't subscribe to the term fry scream. I prefer to say that all screams are false chord screams, but we are either on a pitch basis or a loose chord engagement or fry basis, as opposed to saying fry scream. I realize I'm playing semantics, but I also feel like there's there's a lot of confusion centered around fry scream because people think fry should be able to scream with that, and you can't get loud enough. You can incorporate the fry technique into it, and that's what we're doing here. That's what we're doing with our low growl, right? We're going bum oh pitch oh. Now I'm going to fry behind that false chord engagement. Oh, 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 and now there's no pitch. That's how we get there. And I'm using a lot of compression there too. So I'm not using as much air once I finally center on that. You are so welcome, Caesar. If you'd like to support me and you'd like to go way deeper and you enjoy this free stuff, this is how I make my living. That's just how I'm able to give away so many things on YouTube. Join my course here. The Aggressive Vocalist Master Plan of Attack. There's a coupon good for today. When I growl, my voice sometimes goes off the rails, especially when I do low ones. Am I pushing too much air? Yes, you are pushing too much air. You have to think compression. If you are sighing is how you access that growl, you're going to use a lot of air. But once you feel that low break, like I talked about in the last video, there it is, right there. Then you want to go into the add compression, stage whisper, high false chord engagement, and remove the note. But if you're not using compression, you're going to run out of air too quickly, and you're going to get lightheaded, and you're going to blow so much air past your chords, you're going to end up frying your voice or ruining your voice temporarily. There it is. I'm not using a ton of air, and I'm not taxing my primary chords. Yes, pure scream versus blended scream. Yeah, that's scream sing. And I just did a video a couple weeks ago on scream sing. You should check that out. Is your vocal budget normally empty, done by the end of your tutorials? No. I usually talk, sing, film 6 hours a day a lot of times. My vocal budget has been trained very long. And I'm using techniques that allow me to sing a long time, even aggressively and scream. I still have my full head voice by the end of the day. I will echo what an interview that I did with Ian Thornley. Ian Thornley said a little while ago that oftentimes my voice feels better by the end of the day. I enjoy the sensation of talking and singing and screaming. Yeah, Helena, that's right. That's a difficult song. Is it normal to get lightheaded when fry screaming? It is normal to get lightheaded when you use too much air. If you think about compression, holding back air, you won't get lightheaded. But it is normal, unfortunately, because people don't think about compression. That's another reason I don't like the term fry screaming. We need to think about holding back air as the primary way to get false chord engagement. That's going to save our voice. That is going to allow us to be more versatile with our screams. Here is the course that I have on sale right now during this live event and through the end of today. What sort of warm-up do I do for these techniques? The warm-ups that I do for these techniques are exactly what I did in the video that I premiered just before this Q&A. Start with fry. Make your mouth go in different places to adjust your tone. Like that. Then introduce this exercise. Bum-mo, bum-mo. Notice that I am using my head voice. Bum-mo, bum-mo. Still creating a different look and feel with my mouth. I'm adjusting the tone, which will be perceived as pitch when I start growling or low screaming. Bum-mo. I do that for a little bit till my head voice feels good and warmed up. And then I start sighing. Bum-mo. Let my voice break and feel out where my voice breaks. Then add compression into that. Bum-mo, bum-mo. Then bring back the loose chord engagement after I break and add more compression. Bum-mo, bum-mo. Oh, yeah. Are there people that can't learn to scream, or is it something everyone can do? I love these questions. Everybody can do it, just like everybody can talk. You just have to put sensation before sound, and that's why it's so dangerous to listen to sounds like Corey Taylor and all these guys that do it so well, and also their albums where they're doing things not with necessarily the best technique on the albums, and we just love that sound, and then we imitate that sound, and then we think, oh, I could never do that. Everybody can. Follow these steps. Go deeper with me in my course, the Aggressive Vocalist Master Plan of Attack, to really warm up and train these sensations into your body so that you can do these things on demand without messing up your voice. Listening to Corey Taylor or listening to any of these guys that are massively awesome at it is not going to help you learn. In fact, it's going to go the opposite way. It's going to injure your voice and discourage you. Joaquin's question. What was Joaquin's question? I want to hear Joaquin. I must have missed it. Please repost. Lots of amazing comments coming in. I want to make sure I answer that. Do I ever do karaoke bars? I do. I do karaokes. Yes. And I love it. Nice, Connor. Thank you. Let's see here. Any tips, exercises for belting A4 to C5? I can't hit those notes. You don't want to be belting A sharp 4 to C5. You want to be using mixed voice, which I also cover in my Aggressive Vocalist Master Plan of Attack. If you're like me, high tenor or low tenor, high baritone sort of thing, once you get past, it's about as high as I can belt. I need to be focusing on mix. Hey, yeah, yeah. And then adding false chord engagement, compression, and screams around that. Yeah, yeah. That, believe it or not, that's actually not belting. That is screaming. That's false chord engagement and compression with mixed voice. How to practice improving the sounds and screams. MR, that's a great question. And a lot of it is doing the exact exercises that I've shown you in the video, in this video and the last video. A lot of it is recording yourself. Let's go over real quick. I'm going to take a break. Can I show us some other vowel shapes? For screaming, show us some other vowel shapes, and then we'll get into the recording aspect here, which is a huge part of practicing. It's how I've practiced. Vowel shapes with mixed voice. Yeah, yeah, or screaming. Yeah, yeah. Now, what you have to realize is with growls, those are almost always done on a dark vowel, like an O. A lot of guys will do it with like kind of an R. Is the posture. Yes, I will keep the live stream up for later. And so what people end up doing is they end up growling on a dark vowel like an or an O, and then abandoning into a different pitch, much like I did in my demonstration earlier. And they'll do something like that, but they'll take it into a real scream, like or they'll go the other direction, like that. Yeah, not using my throat to sing, that's a huge, huge problem. I've done quite a few videos on why your throat is tight. Search my channel. In fact, the very video is on my channel, why your throat is tight and how to fix it. That'll really, really help you. Also, make sure you join my free course, linked in every video I do. That will help you with the mystical singing from your diaphragm problem that a lot of people get stuck with. What is singing from your diaphragm? How should singing from your diaphragm sound? Don't use that term diaphragm. Join my free course linked in the video info, and I help you figure out the sensation of what that actually feels like. So we don't have to use terms, we use feel. Here is the link to my aggressive vocal course again. When I'm good and warmed up, John, I can pull off the Dream On scream. Yes, I enjoy that. It's important to know, and having worked with the producer who produces Steven Tyler, that Dream On scream is actually head voice. It's raspy head voice. It's not mixed voice, and it's not a scream. It's the way it was produced, which I find to be very, very, very cool. Okay, let's go over, and I'm going to show you this breakdown here for this recording. Here is the sample that I did. It's just a real short sample because I want to be able to get to these techniques. Right now! Right now! That is, I adjusted the volume just a little bit down there. That is the 3 screams that I've got going on here. 3 screams and growls. Let me solo these out so you can get a feel for the layering that's happening and how that's informing the sound. I'm doing this on most of the tracks. Like that. But I'm also varying it a little bit, putting a little bit of pitch in, putting, yes, a little bit of Cookie Monster in some as well to create lots of good layers. Would I want to do this live? No. But would I want to thicken my approach up in the studio? Yes. And lest you think I'm cheating, everybody does this. Check out the course I did with Spencer Sotelo and the isolated vocal tracks that we released with that course, and you will find the same thing. It's not cheating, it is producing. That doesn't inform, or that should, though, inform your perspective live. We don't want to be doing this live because it isn't great for our voice. Here's track 1. Here's the whole thing again. Right now! Right now! Sounds pretty tight, pretty low. Here is the first track, soloed. And I've got delays and stuff on it. We'll get rid of those in a minute. Right now! Right now! You see how I change the timbre of my mouth, or the shape of my mouth to change the timbre. No! No! Like that. Full guttural there towards the end, and I let it happen. I let my voice kind of break into it. That's covered up by the layers. I'm using Shep's Omnichannel to get some natural distortion. If I bypass all these effects, it sounds very different. Sounds more like what you hear me doing right now. Not great, but it sounds great in context. Right now! Right now! And, you know I'm going to get some people saying, oh, you suck. But you know what? This is how it's done. And I don't mind being vulnerable and showing how to get good sounds out of a scream or a growl that isn't maybe even fully developed yet. This is how it's done. If you are judging the sound, you are going to judge your own sound, and you are never going to do anything with your voice. Think about the production aspects and healthy ways to get this kind of distortion and growling out of your voice, and work on it. Work on it by recording yourself and evaluating. Off my soapbox now. Okay, here is take number 2 that I layered in. Right now! Right now! Now that is full-on Cookie Monster. And when layered with this, it sounds really awesome. Right now! I'm creating a depth that I wouldn't otherwise have. Then we've got this one. Right now! Right now! And I'm using various forms of distortion and, like I said here, saturation, EQ, more compression, limiting, and then I'm using some delay down here to get everything wider. Let me solo the layers without the track. Right now! Right now! There you have it. Let's check in on some things here. So, any questions about the production aspects? Again, just want to put this in here again. Here is the sale I'm running on the Aggressive Vocalist Master Plan of Attack. This is if you want to go way deeper with me in terms of screaming, aggressive singing in general. That is going to be where you can do it. You get direct access to me also during that course. Okay, now getting caught up with screams. Oh, thank you for the mixing compliments. I don't understand about pitched and pitchless growls. They all seem like a pitch to me. Well, original Vonster, when I add fry behind my false chord engagement. So here's a pitched growl, or you could say a low center of pitch. You hear that fundamental oh in there. Oh, there's like a note there. But that's because my primary chords are engaged on a pitch. Oh, whereas if I do this behind my false chord engagement, behind this, if I put fry behind that, you hear there's no more pitch because I'm doing this behind this. There's no note. Are you good at tracking vocals, or did you edit these to help the timing? I would like to think I'm very good at tracking vocals. I track vocals a lot for me and for other people. But, you know, all vocals that you hear on albums are edited. They're adjusted for timing. They are tuned a little bit. These are, of course, not tuned. And most of what I try to do, I don't use any auto-tune on anything that I sing. I will do manual pitch correction once in a while on some things, but I don't use auto-tune. And I drink a lot of water. Do I smash vocals before compressor? I actually use a manly core. Here's what I've got here. I'll show you this, guys. This will be fun for you to see. I'm going to add my phone as a camera real quick so that you can see. Just a second here. This is what I use for my singing and what I'm talking into right now, that lower one that's on. And it has a limiter built into it and a tube compressor and an EQ. So that means that I can do this. I'm whispering to you and I'm screaming. I'm doing all of that, and I have no other compression on my voice, audio compression anyway, than what's going in to that front end. That's going into my apogee interface. That's how I'm getting my sound. Now, when we go over to the DAW, on the stuff that you saw me do earlier, this stuff has additional compression on it. This one right here, I've got distortion on it, I've got EQ on it, and you can see, like, if I play this again, listen, watch what the compressor's doing. I mean, it's throttled. There's a lot of compression, a lot of saturation on these things, and then delay and reverb and all that stuff. So it's huge. And I do a lot of tutorials on mixing and production as well. I have several courses set up for that. Here is, again, the master plan of attack. It's on sale today and during this live event. Low Scream is the coupon code. Can I set up a solid limiter that's going to handle whispers and screams in the DAW? Yeah, the Waves L1 is good, and the Sheps Omni channel that I just showed you is also good. Let's see. Great questions, guys. Do I ever practice while I'm sick or have a tired voice? Yes. I had COVID 2 months ago, and I still am coughing, and I still have extra mucus and ear ringing in my ears and stuff like that. And I have to. I'm a vocalist. That's what I do for a living, and so I have to practice. And I have several videos on the channel that talk about that, the way that I'm able to do that. I do not know how to squeal. As soon as I learn how to squeal, I will absolutely do a tutorial on it. There is no routine to reach higher notes. In fact, routines will make it not possible for you to reach high notes. They will start causing you to work against yourself. What you've got to do is return to speech level sensation and unlock pitch, but not notes, in your speech voice. This is going to help you unlock your mixed voice. And that is how you're going to hit higher notes. But it's not a routine. It's not an exercise. It is an introspective journey. And I cover that journey. I take you through that journey in my course, Discover Your Voice. And we touch on it more in the Aggressive Vocalist Master Plan of Attack. I have seemingly recovered for the most part. My vocal budget is a little weird. If you are interested in joining me for Discover Your Voice, you can request an invitation to that course at chrislipe.com. But I guarantee you, if you are trying to improve your range with routines or warm-ups or exercises, you are going to fail. You can use those sorts of things after you've already discovered the sensations, which is how I work things with your voice. But if you try to do exercises first, you have not developed the introspective and character-based tone-building mindset in order to truly build your range. Don't know if you're doing vocal compression properly. I do the whole core muscles thing, but I don't seem to ever get any distortion. Can you literally try to lift something heavy and grunt while you're grunting? There's your distortion, right? It's ugly, but then focus on, with your mind, directing that attention higher. Usually an E vowel is going to help you do that. And then start adding comfortable pitches into it. Yeah! Oh! Yeah! Those are comfortable. Then once you've discovered your mix, go clean with your mix, add that compression over it. Yeah! Yeah! It's really, really fun to experiment with compression in different parts. Free! I'm free now! Okay. Guys, thank you so much for hanging out with me and asking some awesome questions. Again, if you'd like to support me and join me in a more in-depth journey in aggressive singing, this course right now that I've linked is on sale today during this event and through the end of the day. Get an in-depth video about my hardware setup. Well, I don't mind spending a little bit more time on my hardware. Got the camera here still. How often do I sing covers to backing tracks? Daily. And what are you typically singing material-wise? Great question, John. I probably sing covers 2 or 3 times a week. And typically I go on the YouTube channel CC Karaoke. And sing to those, whatever I feel like. But it's a lot of 90s stuff. Soundgarden, Alice in Chains, My Chemical Romance. Yeah. How much should be a high scream? Could you ask that question just a little differently so I could have a better understanding of what you're asking? Music, does the compression have a strong feeling in the throat, or does it feel like distortion comes from the core? Distortion absolutely does not come from the core. Support comes from the core. You will feel a little bit of heat in your upper throat if you're doing it right. But if you feel tickly or coughing, you are doing it too low in your throat. That's why I talk about high in the throat. Stage whisper, or the polite way to clear your throat. That's going to center the engagement of your upper throat correctly. But you do not feel compression in your, well, you feel compression in your core because you're holding back air. You're pushing. But the sensation of compression has to happen in your throat because that's where the air is being held back. You don't hold back air with your core. That's below your lungs. You can't hold air back below your lungs. You have to hold air back above your lungs and above your vocal folds. Great questions, guys. Let me go over to. Oh, really? I did not know that. CC Karaoke is doing live streams every Sunday night. That would be fun. Cool. I'm gonna write that down. All right. How loud should be a high scream? I always feel like you're too loud. None of your screams should be that loud. If you get your compression down, the sensation of holding back air, you can actually do this pretty quietly. I actually did a video on my YouTube channel where I took a decibel meter out and I measured my screams versus my mixed voice, and my mixed voice was actually louder than the screams. Like my clean mix. Check out that video on the channel. Yeah, let's look at the hardware again real quick. So I'm going to go to my phone cam again here. And, okay, so what I've got here, I've got Mojave MA300 microphone. The power supply is in the back of my desk. I've got Kali audio monitors, and I've got a patch bay. This patch bay is going over to that other room or coming from that other room. I've got 1 through 16 snake over there. Drums are fully patched. And then in another room out in the far distance is a very large room that I have room mics for the drums and other instruments that you can't see from here. That goes through the wall over here to the patch bay. I've got an Apogee Ensemble Thunderbolt interface. My front end that I usually use for all my videos are these Manly Core reference channel strips. I've got a pair of them, one for my standing mic right there, and one for the mic at my desk. I've got this Avalon, which I don't use for vocals anymore. I only use it for bass. I have the IN8s by Kali also, but I actually prefer the smaller ones because I've got a sub that I can turn on and off underneath my desk right there. And I've got a speaker management system that controls multiple rooms, as well as an Octopre and a headphone distribution system. And I'm going into an old iMac that needs to be replaced here pretty soon. In the back, well, I've got all my guitars, over there. I've got guitars back there, which is fun. And I've got my favorite piece of gear in the whole studio, my record player in the back. So, pretty simple hardware setup, but that is it. Let's see here. And I've done videos about my hardware setup, and it's also in my courses. I talk a lot about routing and recording and stuff like that there. Yeah, it's an okay chair. Guys, if you're interested in going deeper with me with aggressive vocals and you haven't already, I'm running a sale on my Aggressive Vocalist Master Plan of Attack. There we have it. Thank you so much, Thrash Mash. I'm glad you've enjoyed my lessons and perspectives on vocals. I'm glad that I'm helping you make them feel achievable. Guys, I've really enjoyed this. Thank you so much for watching and participating and asking questions. There will be more of these, especially with the wonderful interaction that I've gotten through this today. Yes, you can scream with asthma. I have asthma right now. I didn't plan that. I've been on an inhaler since COVID, and I have very limited breath support, but I'm still able to do it. A daily physical workout routine? Yes. Yes. I don't. I do daily weightlifting. I do lots of different physical exercise to keep me in shape, and it absolutely informs the quality and longevity of my singing. You probably lose power and volume when you are singing high because you are not using compression and support properly. You have to be able to first know how support feels. Join my free course linked in the video info to learn how to do that. And then you have to learn how to use compression in the midst of good chord closure. A lot of people aren't aware if they're closing their vocal cords all the way. And then when they start singing higher, they start sounding like this. And that sounds weak, and it blows too much air. You run out of breath too quickly. It should sound like this. That's good closure. And then as you add compression and good support behind that, you can get all sorts of different sounds and timbres. But it starts with good chord closure, good support, and then adding compression, lifting something heavy, airflow moderation over that. Way more on that in the course, which is on sale right now. I know I'm saying that a lot. This is how I don't make hardly any money off of YouTube. I make my living off of wonderful people like you engaging in these videos and purchasing and enrolling in my courses. So that's a way to support me and go way deeper with these techniques. I should do an analysis of Mariah Carey. How do I deal with vocal stamina? Vocal stamina is achieved by good habits, by introspective mindfulness routines, not singing routines, but mindfulness routines. And I've been talking a lot about vocal stamina in my group coaching called Sing Together 365. Vocal stamina is not about, you can't gain vocal stamina by doing vocal workouts, really. You have to start learning how to engage different muscles in different ways and being able to approach all notes all ways. So you're able to give yourself creative planned breaks and rests even in the midst of performing. That's how I can sing 3 hours of karaoke and not get tired. That's how I can speak and sing for 6 hours a day with my job and not get tired, because I've learned to be introspective with my voice. There is a sense of your muscles and your vocal cords being conditioned to go longer, but that's not something you can you can pursue. It's something you have to pursue these healthy habits in order to get there. And I talk a lot about that in my courses as well. It's a complicated one. Yes, John, that falsetto closed is head voice. Yeah, that is absolutely, that's how I look at it. People have different definitions, but yeah, I know. This asthma breath stuff is terrible. Where in the world am I? I am in Greeley, Colorado, United States of America. I don't know how to do whistle tones. That's another one that I'd love to mess with more. How long did it take the studio to make? Well, this is a new studio. This one is only about 6 months old, and I just started working out of it full time. If you watch some of my older videos pre-June 2021, I was in a different studio, and that was in my old house, and so I had to build this new one. This one took a few months to build and a lot. I've just recently got it really dialed in to where it's working well. What sensation should I look for when trying to achieve proper compression? The sensation you should look for when you are achieving proper compression is lifting something heavy. And then focusing that engagement that you feel in your throat as high as possible in your throat and not low. If it feels like it's low, like down here or right next to your vocal cords, you're going to feel a sense of tickling. Your eyes might start watering. You might start feeling like you're going to choke. If it's high, I'm trying to lift my desk right now. That is the sensation of compression. That's how you start it. But it got too low there when I was doing it, and I immediately choked. If it's high, you can go for a long time. But the minute it goes too low, man, and I've conditioned myself to not be comfortable to that. I'm glad that happened. You can see how detrimental placing your compression too low in your throat is. Woo! Yes, it is exactly like taking a poop. In fact, I cover that in my free course. We talk about using your poop muscles, secret. That's exactly how we talk about it. And I also talk about in my free course, we use a butter knife to engage those lower abdominal muscles. All right. Well, everybody, thank you so much. I've got a few private lessons today to prepare for. So I've got to let you guys go, and I've got to let myself go so I can get ready to start teaching some of these lessons. I have really, really had a great time today. Again, if you would like to go deeper with me in this area of aggressive singing, screaming, growling, check this out. I'm running a sale on this course, the Aggressive Vocalist Master Plan of Attack, through the end of today. And real quick, coughing or harshness in the throat is a sign of learning. You're learning what not to do, and as you bring it higher, you will learn how you can do it sustainably without coughing. The coughing and hoarseness and all that stuff is a result of it being done too low, and you saw me do it by accident when I got carried away lifting my desk. It's not sustainable, but high it is. And you can talk like this for a long time. You can scream, yeah! Oh, yeah! Make all sorts of noise once you've gotten that placed high. Thank you guys so much. We will see you in a future live Q&A. I hope to be doing many more of these. Take care.